Well, I'm excited that you're here and that you're able to,
Right.
help us in this, because it's great to have a person in your running the kind of business that you have. It helps everybody here.
Right.
So tell me about your business.
Yeah. So again, it kind of ties into my previous career with cannabis was, when I got here, I had high expectations about what I was going to do in the cannabis industry. And what ultimately happened was Oregon went through a big overflooding of cannabis here. So like the market dropped down, the prices went down. It just affected my goals and my career aspects. So I was like thinking of ways like, okay, if this was to really hit the fan more than what it is right now, how am I going to make this work? And for the past 10 years, a couple of years ago, that was my life. That was every day was revolving around plants and plant schedules and what I was doing. And back before I even came up here, I had helped set up a dispensary in California where I was marketing as much as I possibly could on Facebook, Instagram, doing what I could do with my camera. I always had a camera in my hand. I always took pictures. I was always a creative kid. I was always in art classes. I was always in digital art, anything to do with production. I was always kind of involved that way. And that was kind of like my first love. That and sports was like my first love, was like just always being creative. And then as I got older, as most people do, teenagers years, they do different things. They find different career paths. So that's where I found cannabis. And that kind of, once that reality kind of came back, I was like, okay, I need to go back to what I know. What do I know other than cannabis? And I was like, I know how to make things look good. At least I think I know how to make things look good. I was always creative. I always had, even when I was in cannabis, I was like, how do I get out of this? How do I make stuff look even better than what it is? And having a camera in my hand and using my creative outlet that I can do with social media, because everyone's on it, I can make things look good. And then when I got here, I took a look at the social media that was around here. Being from California in the Bay Area, that's where Facebook is. That's where Instagram is. Everyone has it. Everyone uses it. Like, it's a no-brainer. That wasn't the vibe when I got here. It was a lot of, some businesses had social media, but it wasn't like what they could be doing. They could have a lot more say on social media. And I was like, I really took a step back. I was like, how can I help these businesses with what I know and start something new? And ultimately what I did was I said, screw it. I'm going to try it. I didn't have the money. I didn't have the tools I have now. I started my business with a phone. Oh. I was going door to door. I was calling real estate agents, because ultimately when I first started this thing, I was like, let me talk to real estate agents and see how they think about it. And then maybe I'll try to help cannabis companies market, because they were struggling at the time. And once I kind of realized that, I think the cannabis industry will figure itself out, and that's fine, because I want to get away from that. So I was like, well, let me help my community. How can I help my community more? So like real estate agents help build communities. They help help people buy homes here. They help a hell of a lot in other ways in that, finding the right lenders, how do there's just a whole lot that goes into it. And then, from there I kind of expanded. I'm like, well, it's not just realtors that make up this community. There's business owners. My neighbors are business owners. You take a drive up down Oak Street, there's not one commercial place that I can think of that's on that street. Everyone is a private business or small business. So I was like, I can help market these people. I know there's something I can offer them. So that's basically how my business got started. And over the past couple of weeks, I've just been busy. I'm doing a lot of things. I'm helping a lot of people right now with free promotional stuff because we're going through some difficult times. And I know small businesses don't have huge marketing budgets, and they just, they're doing what they can to survive. And ultimately, I love this community. I want to be a part of this thing. Like I said, I can say it a million times in this episode, how much I love this place, but I don't want to see anyone around here struggle, because they make up something that I love. So how do I help and support them? Well,
and I love that. It's wonderful to see somebody move here from another place and just identify how I can help, and that does say community, just overall. When you have a group of people that get together and say, how can we help enrich the experience of living here? Right. And, I appreciate the fact that you're here, because you're right. There was a lot lacking from, you know, a social media standpoint. There's, you know, lots of platforms that are not
Right.
used. And marketing, it's probably because we didn't have to.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
You
all.
know?
I have a lot of conversations with a lot of people, especially around here. You know, this is the time of year where everything starts ramping up. You know, we're getting ready to hit summer, but due to COVID, everyone's taking a step back, trying to figure out, okay, how do I make my business work in this kind of situation if the tourist season doesn't come? And that was kind of a message I was kind of preaching a couple of years ago was, you know, there is some downtime here in the wintertime. It's not as busy. We still get tourists that come around here, but how can businesses do similar or close to similar to the business they were doing in summertime? So I was like, let's show what at that time, which was the winter, it was like, let's show what this town has to offer in the winter. You know, there's snowboarding and skiing up the mountain, and you know the restaurants still offer the same food, the stores still offer the same products. So like, what's hindering people from coming out here? So you know, there's crowds that you just need to be marketed to. It's just how do you figure out how to get their attention? And social media is on everyone's phone. It's everywhere.
Well, they say that because of the current environment that people will be wanting to move out of the bigger cities, Seattle and Portland. They'll be looking at the smaller towns like this. We've already seen an uptick in, I thought it was going to hit the lower end market. We've had several $1 million cash buyers coming out of, you know, getting accepted offers and coming out of California. That is kind of saying to me that, you know, I would say the vast majority of people that are coming to the area that we have in, you know, within our real estate company is, you know, they are coming from those bigger areas, and for exactly the reasons you've identified.
So ultimately, when I started this company was okay.